Lobelia inflata, commonly known as Lobelia, Indian tobacco, Pukeweed, Asthma Weed, Gagroot, Vomitwort, Bladderpod, Eyebright and rapuntium inflatum is a flowering herb that is named after the Belgian botanist, Matthias de Lobelia. The plant belongs to Campanulaceae family and is native to eastern North America, from southeastern Canada, Nova Scotia to southeast Ontario, south through the eastern United States to Alabama and west to Kansas. It has been considered to be one of the most valuable herbal remedies ever discovered, according to Potter's Encyclopedia of Botanical Drugs and Preparations. Lobelia has historically been used and appreciated for a number of functions, including toxin removal, craving control, and, perhaps most notably, its ability to relieve problematic respiratory symptoms. Lobelia is an erect annual or biennial herbaceous plant that grows about 15 to 100 centimeters, 5.9 to 39.4 in, tall. The plant is found growing in open deciduous woodlands, savannas, thickets, areas along woodland paths, power line clearances in wooded areas, partially shaded seeps, and abandoned fields. It prefers soil that contains loam, clay loam, or rocky material. Poor soil is readily tolerated, although this will stunt the growth of the plants somewhat. The plant is taproot. Angular stems have bristly white hairs. These hairs are less abundant on the upper stems. Alternate leaves are up to 2½ long and 1 across, becoming smaller as they ascend the stems. They are lanceolate to ovate in shape and crenate or bluntly dentate along the margins. The upper surface of each leaf is largely hairless, while the lower surface has a few hairs along the major veins. The lower leaves have short petioles, while the upper leaves are sessile. Flower is up to 1/3 long. It consists of a tubular corolla with 5 spreading lobes and a short tubular calyx with 5 teeth that are not long and spreading. The corolla is light blue-violet, light purple, or white. It has a cleft upper lip consisting of 2 small lobes and a cleft lower lip consisting of 3 lobes that are somewhat larger. The interior of the corolla is primarily white. Its lower interior has 2 small yellow patches and tufts of fine white hair. Flowering takes place from July to August. After summer, this herb's fruit ripens into small inflated seed pods that are about 1/3 inch across. This capsule is completely enclosed by the persistent green calyx. Seed capsule is divided into 2 cells and contains numerous tiny seeds. These seeds are small enough to be blown about by the wind. American Indians smoked the leaves as tobacco and used them medicinally for respiratory ailments. Similar folk uses for asthma, chronic bronchitis, whooping cough, cholera, and many other conditions were recorded. Lobelia's emetic properties were well known in the 19th century. There are no recent clinical studies to support specific dosage of linden. Classical use of the flowers was at a dosage of 2 to 4 grams daily in a tea for coughs and colds. It is said that Lobelia has been used to treat depression, but this has not yet been proved. Homeopathy says that Lobelia is a muscle relaxant. However, it can interact with certain anti-anxiety or antidepressant drugs. So, make sure to check with a doctor before consuming it. It would be sensible to start taking Lobelia in lower doses along with other herbs and then increase the dose if you don't happen to experience any adverse reactions. You can have it as a tea by adding a few drops in warm water. Abundant sweating helps to flush out toxins and can also reduce fever by cooling the body. In such cases, inducing perspiration helps cleanse the body. It was again the botanist, healer, and staunch proponent of Lobelia usage, Samuel Thomson, who used this plant as a sweat inducer in the early 1800s. Quitting cigarette smoking is one of the best ways to reducing the risk of life-threatening diseases. You have to choose an effective method to help you quit gradually. Lobelia herb is one of the effective options. The lobeline, a property contained in the seed of this herb, acts as alternative to nicotine. Although it's not as addictive as nicotine, it is the best in helping a tobacco addict get rid of nicotine addiction. It is always important to consult with a doctor before consuming Lobelia. Overuse of Lobelia may cause toxic effects in the body. Lobelia consists of isolobelanine, respiratory relaxant and an emetic, and lobeline, that is a potent respiratory stimulant. This herb has a depressant action on the autonomic nerve systems and the central nerve systems. The herb, when combined with other herbs and administered in small dosages, helps to increase the effectiveness. Many traditional medicine systems have used Lobelia to help reduce muscle spasms. Leaves and flowers are used in many medications. It has been known to treat a jaw disorder, where the movements of the jaw muscles become stiff. It is used only as an external application. Oral consumption or application on the broken skin can cause adverse effects. In case of food poisoning, Lobelia is administered in higher dosage to induce vomiting. This will help clear the stomach of toxins, like excessive alcohol consumption and food poisoning. It's the reason why it was given the name Pukeweed, as it induces vomiting. Thus, eliminates toxins from the body. Research has proven that Lobelia can be used to help treat respiratory illnesses. Herbalists say that this herb is beneficial for bronchitis, whooping cough, asthma, and pneumonia. Lobelia herb is also an expectorant, which means that helps in clearing mucus from the respiratory tract and lungs. Studies are too few to show whether this herb is actually effective in treating respiratory issues. Lobelia herb is known to work really well on anxiety attacks. A few drops of Lobelia tincture will help calm him or her. This herb relaxes the muscles and reduces cramps, tension, and spasms. It also works on the respiratory tract and enhances calmer, deeper breathing. Please share, like and subscribe.